Okay, so we're going to start off first with our brushes. Make sure you guys have your large background brush. Okay, make sure that you also have your size 5/8 square brush. And these are the same brushes we use for all our classes, guys. So remember that every time we come to class, if you come with these brushes, then you'll be good to go. Next, we have our size 5 round tip brush. And this applies specifically to Hebrew school. Okay, it does not apply to everybody. As long as you guys have these types of brushes, if you guys have bigger canvases, you guys can use bigger canvases, bigger size brushes of these types. If you have a smaller canvas, you guys can use smaller versions of these types and it'll still be good. So then we have a size 1 or size -20 or 20 for our detail liner brush. And the colors that we're going to be using now are going to be our white, yellow, blue, red, black, and brown. I put my canvas long ways. We are going to be using a pencil for this as well. And make sure you have your water and your towel. So again, our paint needs just a little bit of water. We're not going to focus on that yet. We are actually going to pick up our pencil first, and I am going to zoom in just a little bit. So this is my whole canvas here, right, guys? So we're going to start off and we're going to be doing our face in the lower half. Now you guys are a little bit older, okay? So you guys will be able to get this. We're going to basically copy this down here. Okay, so you guys got both of these pictures to use as a sample because I painted it already. So we're going to start off first on our left and we're going to go right in the middle. Her face is about a hand and 3 fingers wide. Okay, so it's going to be basically like a block in the middle that opens up slightly. So let's start off on the side here. We're going to come in kind of like we got the top of the cheekbone. Okay, the side of the cheekbone right here. We're going to start to go up. We're expanding. That's the side of the temple. We're going to go up. And from here, we're going to bring it sideways. Make a little point right in the middle, kind of like a Dracula point there. We're going to start to bring our line all the way to the right. Bring that down. Curve it in. Come out. And then you bring it back into the center again. Here we go. We have part of the face there. Next, on the left-hand side, we are going to have an ear coming out. Okay, my Frida has big old ears. If you want to make her ears a little bit smaller, you can. I think I overdid the ears a little bit. That's fine. She's got big ears here too, whatever. Anyways, so just like we did that face, we are then going to come in on the sides of the face and we're going to bring in some curls all the way up until half of our canvas, or maybe even a little bit above half, however you feel comfortable. But we're bringing a line and we're just curving it at an angle up towards our right. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We could even, I'm going to do it even lower actually. So pretend like that one doesn't exist. Okay, that's fine. You can go lower, you can go higher, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to do the same on this side. And you don't have to worry about erasing anything. The hair is going to be painted black, so you won't see any of the lines regardless. Okay. And we're going to come up right there. So now we have the head, we have the hair shape, the basic hair shape. Next, we're going to begin to draw the nose first. So the nose, we're going to basically have it on the sides coming down, right? We have the 2 little lines on the sides. 1, 2. We kind of leave a little break in the middle. You know what? I'm going to do it a little bit lower. I think I might have done that one a little too high. See? So from here, we're going to draw our eyes, and they're just going to be sort of like an almond shape. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Come in and do our almond shape. Okay. Right now she looks like a little weird alien. That's cool. She's going to get a little bit better as you go on. So 2 almonds after you make the bridge of the nose. Then you're going to come in. You're going to do a line right above the eyelid, just a little one. Okay, it doesn't even have to be fully completed. It can be broken. You can have just several lines making that line on top. We're going to come in, going to do the eyebrow by doing 2 lines in the middle, going up and to the corner. On top, we make an exact same line. And then right in the middle, she was known for a unibrow. So let's hook that up with a lot of hair right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to come in. I'm going to let you guys kind of outline that a little bit. Cool. Right in the middle, you are going to come in and do a circle for the eyes. All of this you'll be able to correct once you go in and paint it. Cool. So that's the basic shape that we need to be able to do our Frida. At first, it always looks a little off. Once we go in and color it, it is going to look a little different. Once we start off, the first color we're going to start with is going to be her skin color because it is the lightest. For this, we are going to be using our square brush, so our 5/8, okay? Let me zoom in. Her face is looking a little out of whack for me. I'm going to move it up a little bit. There we go. And we're going to come in first to make our skin color. For our skin color, we're going to be using these 3 colors. We're going to be using our yellow, our red, and our white. We're picking up a tiny bit of white, mixing it right in the middle. Make sure that you do add a little bit of water in there. I'm going to be adding just a tiny drop of yellow. Okay, we don't want it to be such a bright banana yellow. Okay, we want it to be a light yellow. And to this light yellow, we're going to add a slight, tiny, tiny drop. Hardly anything, look at that, of red. There we go. We start to get more of a skin tone there. Let me add a little drop more of red. Okay, we don't want it to be pink. We don't want it to be orange. We're going to add a little bit more. There we go. We're starting to get a nice finer color. And to this, I'm just going to add a little bit more white. And there you go. We have the skin tone color we are looking for. So again, we're coming in with enough water that it can make it nice and soft. We don't want it to be see-through. If it's see-through, just add more paint so you can thicken it up, because we do want it to be creamy and apply nicely over the top. So we're going to come in first, and with this tan, we're going to start to paint in her skin color. Look at that. And you can start to soften some things. If maybe you make her forehead a little bit too blocky, you can come in and just kind of expand on the forehead a little bit. Okay, we're going to come in. We're going to paint around the eyebrows. We're going to paint the center of the eyebrows as well. Here, you're going to get to form those eyebrows as well. You're going to have a chance to fix them later on. Also, if when we go and use our, once we start to go and use our black, you're going to be able to fix it a little bit also. If you don't like the way you fixed it right now, you can apply a little bit of more white into that forehead area. Try to brighten it up a little bit so it looks a little bit more realistic. Again, you spread that white so that it's only bright right around the forehead, creating some of that highlight effect like when you do your makeup. A lot of girls are into contouring and stuff like that. It's kind of what this is. You're contouring around the face. Your body has a natural contour to it. It has natural shadows A lot of times people think shadows are brown, but they're not. A lot of human shadows are purples and blues because of the blood that we have and all that. Our shadows are not brown, black. So we're gonna come in, paint that around the face. If you want to make her a little bit more on the pink side, you could add just a little bit more of the red into the skin color. And you do get a little bit of a more dramatic pink in there. Okay, you can also come in and paint the ears. Okay. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time. Once you start to add a shadow into the skin, let's say you want to add a shadow, okay, to this color, I'm going to add a tiny little drop of this brown, tiny little drop. So there we go. We got more of a shadowy skin tone. And you're going to see me add those shadows on the sides of the face by the ears. And you're going to see me add those shadows above the eyelid and underneath the face a little bit, underneath the eyes. So it looks like there's a little bit of a shadow there. Same thing on top of the head. There we go. When you're done with the skin, you're going to want to pick up your number 8 round tip brush and using some white, just reshape the eye itself. Make sure that you even the shape up. Make sure that you make the top equal on both sides and the bottom as well. The eyebrows don't matter as much. We're going to be filling that up with another color. But right now we do want to fill these in with some white and kind of even the eyes more or less. When we're done with the skin, we're going to fill in the corner on the right hand side and cross hatch using our number 5/8 brush. We're going crossing using an even orange, mixing some red and some yellow, just crossing that in. And since we're using red and yellow, you can also use those colors independently to make the colors look varied. So we're using some yellow, some red, we're making orange, and we're just filling in everything around her hair and around her face. And now we are using some yellow and red. We're going to be cross hatching it like I showed you guys previously. As was shown previously, I am going to pick up some yellow to highlight it, make sure that I get some highlights on there. And then I'm going to come back and just pick up some red to leave some darker spaces there to add the variety. We don't want to blend it. We just want to make sure that these colors look like they're just all part of the same painting, but they're all standing out as well. Okay, we want to make them look like they're supposed to be kind of on one on top of the other. Okay. So again, now we're coming towards our left and we're going to repeat the same thing. Again, we start off first with the middle, orange, pick up a little bit of yellow and orange or yellow and red. More red will make it darker. More yellow will make it lighter. And we're going to come in and apply that orange to begin with. We're going to be cross hatching, making X's all around. You can use the corner of your brush to create these outlines and make them nice and straight. And then we're going to come back, and into this orange, we're going to incorporate some yellow. And we're going to come back and incorporate some red so that we get all these varieties of colors popping out in the background, and it looks really festive. It looks very light. It looks like there's a lot of movement back there. That's what we're going to be doing right now. So I'm picking up this yellow, this red, and we're just bringing it around. There we go. All right, guys. So moving on, I'm hoping that you guys are done with this. We're going to come in with our pencil once more. And on the top of the head, right here on the crown, we're going to give it about maybe 2 fingers worth of space. And we're going to come in and we're going to just make these little arches. As we make these arches, we're going to make that line also kind of wiggly as we're going up and down. So the line is swerving. And as the line is swerving, so is each of the little lines inside of that. See what I mean? We have little lines that are bigger line that are swerving while we're doing little swerves too. So from these lines, I'm going to be teaching you now how to make the flowers that we're going to be using. For the flowers, we're going to be picking up our 5/8 square brush. And I'm going to show you how to make a flower first right on top of her head right here. So this is the forehead. I'm going to come in and I'm going to show you how to make our flower first. We're going to start off first with our lighter color. And I'm going to be using my yellow and my white for this. Okay, let me center this a little bit more so it's not blurry for you guys. Cool. So I'm coming in with this brush and I'm going to be picking up a little bit of my yellow. And I'm going to be picking up some white. So if you notice on my brush, I have both yellow and white on there. Okay. See, both yellow and white. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're just going to make C's, almost like we're making small rainbows. Okay, here's another one. Come back with the lighter color. And if you notice, you can see all the colors starting to show up right there. You see the yellow and you see the white. And we're just going to curve these lines one on top of the next one, so we can continue to make these types of flowers. You see that? There we have one flower. That's simple, not hard, super easy. You can come back with a little bit more white and just kind of go over the top of some of these little arches to make them stand out more. And there you go, just like that. You have yourself a flower. Look at how easy that is. So I'm going to have you guys go ahead and do that around her hair. So choose several sections that you would like to see these flowers placed. We're going to start off with this yellow and white, and then we're going to move on to our other color. Next, we're going to begin to mix our colors yellow and red. We are now going to exclude our white, and we're going to be using those colors to make our flowers. The colors are going to be red and yellow to combine to make orange, or you could use the colors individually, yellow or red. If you want it darker, you can use some red by itself, just in case you want some darker sections. If you want some lighter sections, you can use a little bit more yellow to make it stand out. So again, repeating this, guys, we made our orange mixing some yellow and red. And instead of using white like we did here, you can use orange with yellow to make your flower, or orange with red, or you can use all three colors to get a very vibrant flower. Let me show you what that looks like up close. See, this one has orange, red, and it has yellow on it. And that's why it looks super colorful. See that? A lot of combinations here, guys. Let me show you. I'm going to make another one. I'm using my orange with some yellow for this one. Boom, just going in circles with it. You know, playing with my yellow and my orange, coming back with some more yellow. Then I'm grabbing some red. I'm continuing to just add that over the top with that curvature, coming back with a little bit more yellow, and I'm applying it nice and thick over the top. And that's how you get that vibrant flower standing out. It looks more complicated than it really is, guys. Okay, so again, we're gonna go in and we're gonna add those orange flowers all along the hair before we move on. After we're done with our orange, we're gonna begin to mix in some red with some of this white to make a pink. And with this pink, we're gonna be painting with our pink and red, or pink and white, to make our flowers here. So again, the next color is some pink with white, or pink with some red, to make these colors stand out a little bit. Again, we're trying to get as much color as possible out. We don't want to blend these colors too much. Okay, you can use a little bit of that white to make each of these curves stand out. And we're going to continue with this pink. After pink, we're going to go ahead and try to blow dry this so that we can move on to our cool colors. Right now, we're painting with our warm colors. We are using our 5/8 square brush. We're painting with our yellows, our reds, our pinks. These are all on the cold side of the spectrum, of the warm side of the spectrum, I'm sorry. These are all hot colors, what you would consider hot colors. So we're going to go in and paint with our cool colors in a little bit. Those colors are going to be our purples, our baby blues, and our aqua greens. So go ahead and finish up these warm colors. Then we're going to go ahead and take a minute to blow dry it. And we're going to continue with our cool colors, guys. All right, guys. So moving on, we are going to be using the same brush, except that now we're going to be using our lighter colors. We're going to start off first with a white and a tiny drop of blue. Make sure you add some water. What is that? Baby blue. And to this baby blue, we're going to add just a little hint of yellow that I happen to finish. So I'm going to pour a little bit more of this yellow since it's all gone. All right. So we're getting that baby blue, picking up a little bit of this yellow, mixing it in there. And look at that. We start to get more of an aqua green color. I'm going to add a little bit more blue. We're looking for a turquoise aqua green. And there you go. Look at how beautiful that color is. You can add a little bit more yellow and it'll turn more turquoise. Look at that. And we are getting an aqua green. I really, really like this color. Nice, Carissa. That is awesome. So we're getting this color, guys, adding a little bit of blue to that. And we're going to be using this aqua, and we could either use white to make the flower color, or we can use blue, or even both colors. The thing is that we don't want this color to be, or this flower to be super dark. We're going for a light color. We are still going to add blue, and we're still going to add purple flowers in here. So come in and start layering these flowers over the other flowers so that we can start getting the colors that we're looking for. Okay, so we're coming in with some of those blues, some of those whites to lighten it up a little bit. A little bit more of that aqua green. Remember to add that yellow. The yellow is what makes that color pop, guys. It's that yellow tint that we added in there. Okay, we're coming back in here on top. Don't forget to make partial ones on the top. And we're going to go around spreading some of these flowers, okay? So there we go. We used a little bit of yellow. We used a little bit of the white. We used a little bit of the blue. You could even go in there and apply a little bit of the yellow in there, but it'll make it look slightly green. So it is completely up to you. We are still going to add leaves in there. So I don't know how green you guys want to go, because we do want the leaves to stand out as well. So again, a little bit of that white. And we're starting to play with this. You can do bigger flowers. You can do small flowers. It is completely up to you guys. So let's go around, kind of play with these, and we'll be right back. Moving on to a blue and then eventually a purple. We're now going to be picking up some of our blue, and we're going to be mixing a little bit of red into it, or actually bring our red into our blue so that we can get a brighter purple. Okay, if you want a darker purple, you can add more blue. If you want a brighter purple, you can continue to add some of this red so that it stays more like a red violet. Here we go. So I'm bringing it into the red, and I'm going to be picking up with this color a little bit of white. So we're going to be picking up our purple, and we're going to begin to add some purple flowers around. You can also add a little bit of red to that for a more magenta color. Again, remember to pick up your white. That's always your secret weapon here. It's what's going to make your colors really pop. Then you can come back, and if it's too bright, wherever you think it's too bright, you can come back and apply a darker color. Okay, so right here on this side as an example, I'm going to come in using some of that red violet. I'm going to start going in a circle a little bit, making those lines. I'm going to come back with my white, and look at how my white just brings that to life, guys. And it's so cool because you guys can, on your free time, go ahead and make a painting with nothing but these kinds of flowers. You know, the holidays are coming up. You guys might want to do some paintings for family members. You know, right now it's going to be a little bit different this year for Christmas. So why not send them a painting and something that you're doing from home? You know what I mean? Give them a little bit of something that you've invested some time into. So here we go. And I'm going to continue to add this purple around. We're going to give you guys a couple more minutes to finish up these flowers. And then we're going to go ahead and blow dry it. You can add some dark blue flowers if you want also, using blue and your white. So I might add a couple of blue and white flowers as well. But we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to blow dry it, okay? And that's what we're going to be doing next. We are now going to be picking up our round tip brush, and we're going to start off first by picking up that round tip and picking up a little bit of this brown. We're going to be adding water to our brown, making sure that it can dry off nice and quick. Meanwhile, we paint the rest of the hair in. And what we're going to do is we're going to come in and paint in the iris. We're gonna paint in our center brown section of our eye, and we're gonna do the both. Okay, so there we go. And we're gonna give that a chance to dry. Meanwhile, we're working on the rest of the hair. Okay. Okay, here we go. Next, we're gonna grab this water, same brush, and we're gonna start to add that water to our black. We want our black to be nice and smooth with this round tip. We're gonna come in, and what we're gonna do is oh, sorry, you know what? Don't do that. Ignore me. Wash off that brush. We are using the round tip, but we're actually gonna make some green. So we're picking up some of this yellow and picking up some of this blue. So ignore the black part, wash your brush off. Let's do some yellow and some blue to make some green. And what we're gonna do is the last thing on our flowers is going to be for us to make some leaves. So you guys are gonna be grabbing that color and you're gonna be placing some leaves coming out of some of these flowers. You decide which ones are the ones that you're gonna be having leaves coming out of. You can come back with a little bit of the yellow and just scratch half of the leaf. So you have one side darker and one side lighter. Okay, if you want a dark green, add more blue. If you want a light green, add more yellow. And we're gonna go ahead and add our leaves real quick all around before we actually do the hair. I was like, something's missing. Yes, the beautiful leaves. So let's go ahead, add some more of this blue. Come back with a little bit more of that yellow. Okay, we're gonna come in, add a couple of more leaves. And the design is sort of like an almond shape. So you're trying to do kind of like almonds coming out, and that's how you're gonna make these leaves. You depend on how many you wanna add. It depends on you. You decide. Once we're done with this, we're gonna come back, like I was originally saying, with a little bit of water in our black. And with this brush, we're gonna begin to outline around the flowers on top. So we're coming in and we're gonna outline around the hair. Okay, so that we can go in there with our square brush or our large brush to fill it in. We're gonna do the same thing in the bottom. So here's your chance to fix the hair. If you wanna do the hair a little bit lower, maybe you didn't like it as high. If you wanna cover the ears a little bit, here's your chance to go ahead and do that. Go ahead, outline the face as well. And then we're gonna go in and paint all of it black with our square brush or our larger brush. But we are gonna have to outline it first. Okay, I'm actually gonna make the forehead even a little bit smaller. There we go. And we're gonna start to fill this in, guys. Again, we're making all the outlines first before we come back and just paint in most of it with our square brush. And guys, we are using our larger brush, our square brush to fill in that hair. We want to make sure that it's nice and filled in. Make sure that your paint is not so see-through. We still want to be able to cover all of this section. So if you need to go ahead and dry it and add a second coat to make sure that the black is really on there, go ahead and do that. You might have to go in there and dry it and then apply a second coat. We do want this to be nice and thick on there. Once we have done this, we're going to be grabbing our detail brush now, guys. So using our detail brush, which is our number 1 or our number 2-0, we're going to start off first with the top of the flowers. We're picking up some of this color and we're going to start to create some outlines. So I am outlining really roughly. It doesn't have to be a perfect outline. I'm outlining the leaves. So I'm giving the leaves a little bit of a form. And I'm going to be outlining the flower. So let me show you more or less what that's going to look like. Let me zoom in. Cool. So let me start off right at the middle. I'm making sure that my paint is nice and smooth so that I don't struggle with it. And it's easier to apply it. Again, if it's soft, it's easier and it'll last longer. So we're going to come in, and with this flower, I'm just going to start to make these little hoops and lines with my brush. You see that? They don't have to be specific. It's just wherever you want to go in and apply those lines. And we're going to do that for every single one of these flowers. So here's our yellow one. I'm doing the little leaf. If you want to make a line across the center of your leaves, you can do that also. That is optional. Coming back, making the lines on this flower. Super quick, doing another line on the top flower. See, just trying to give it some form so that you can separate each of the flowers. Wherever you see that you made kind of like a hoop, you can very quickly go in there and outline those hoops just a little bit. If you didn't, then just go sporadically in the middle. As long as all of the lines are curving towards the center, kind of closing in something, then it's good. You get the lines that we're looking for, see? So they're all kind of forming a circle in the middle. And that's what we're going to do to all of our leaves. We're going to come in and we're going to add these circles. So we're going to go and do this real quick. I'm going to give you guys about maybe 2-3 minutes. This shouldn't take that long. Just really fast. Don't think about it. Don't be specific. Just work on each flower at a time. Each flower can have anywhere from 3 lines to maybe even 7 or 8 lines. Depends on how many you want to do. Okay, but we're moving on really quickly, just working on making these lines be nice and thin. We're going to do that with even our yellow ones really quick. See how I'm already moving past towards the right hand side? Almost done with that. Now I'm going to start moving towards my left. Okay, so I'm doing this one real quick, going from top to bottom. See, now I'm going down. Same thing here. Okay, and we're continuing all the way down towards the left. See that? Don't be rough on yourselves. Don't think about it too much. Just do it nice and quickly. This doesn't have to be perfect. I even have some of my lines going over my colors. They're a little messy. This is supposed to be messy. These are called expressionist lines. You're just expressing what you're feeling with the pressure that you apply on your brush. So that's also a technique, making expressionist lines. And these are also called directional lines, okay? So these types of lines, yeah, lines have like names in art, right? So these lines are implying that there is a petal that's circular. So it's implying, so it's an implied line and it's directing you to go in a circle. Okay, so there we go. Once we're done with these, I'm gonna come back, pick up a little bit more of this black, and moving on, I am gonna be working on her face now so she doesn't look so creepy, okay? Because she looks a little upset. She's like, why haven't you done my face, lady? Okay, so I'm coming in and we're gonna start to fill in the eyebrows first. So we're coming in and we're gonna do her iconic eyebrows. I happen to do her eyebrows a little chola'd out, if you can say, because they're a little pointy. They're a little on fleek. Frida's eyebrows are on fleek. Okay, we're coming back, grabbing a little bit more of this black. Okay, and we're going to start to fill in these eyebrows. So we're coming in, filling them in with that black. And we're going to make that straight line right at the front. If you could do it a little bit angled, that would be appreciated. I do like our lines to be a little bit more sideways like that. See, and then right at the middle, she had that, you know, really famous unibrow. So we're going to come in and just add this unibrow in there. Just pull, scratch, and make some of these hairs in there. Next, towards the left, we're going to come in. We're going to work on this ear by outlining the outside. And we're going to make a little bit of an earlobe. So we have a line going around, coming in. We have two lines and then a line underneath. And here we can just kind of re-outline the face a little bit. Same thing on the other side. We're coming in into the eyes a little bit, coming out for the cheekbones. Okay, so slightly out. And then I'm going to outline the other ear. Same thing. Come in, come down, make the line going down. Same thing. We're going to work on that earlobe, kind of like the top of the ear first, the bottom of the ear. The earlobe is actually not showing here. It's the bottom part. There we go. So we got those ears ready to go there. Next, right above the eyelids, we are gonna follow by making some lines right above the eyelids. Remember the ones that we drew originally? And we're gonna come in and we are gonna do the sections for the bridge of the nose. Okay, next, coming in with that black, we're gonna begin to outline the eye. So we're coming in and we're gonna come in with an eye liner and just give her some eyelashes. See that? So once we come up to the top, we begin to flick for those eyelashes, starting to slowly come up. As it gets closer to the front of the eye, they get just a little bit smaller. They don't stay as big. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're coming in at the bottom and we're giving her eyelashes. Same thing, coming out, starting a curve, not pressing really hard. Look at how I just flick my wrist as I make these eyelashes. Okay, right in the center, we're gonna actually start to outline our iris with that black. And we're gonna do the same on the other side. Next, we're gonna come in with a little bit of this black, and we're gonna make sure that we can make our pupil right in the center. That's starting to look a little creepy there. We're gonna also bring in some lines from the outside in. Just kind of scratch them inwards. Right now it's gonna look a little creepy, but once we start to add the highlight, it's really gonna begin to make some sense. It's gonna give the eye more personality for sure. You can also scratch from the inside out. Okay, so I did the pupil around, came back into the center. I did the iris, painted the pupil, painted some black from the inside, from the outside to the center, and then from the inside out. I'm gonna come back with the eyeliner, and I'm gonna make the bottom of the eye sort of come up and then dip to the side a little bit. Okay, same thing down here. We're gonna come out and then we're gonna just kind of go around it a little bit and then come back up. There we have our eyes. You can also do some eyelashes from the bottom going out. If you're on the right, your eyelashes go to the right. If you're on the left, your eyelashes go to the left. Also, the one thing we can't forget is to give her a little bit of a lower lid so it looks a little bit more realistic. Okay, there we go. And the final thing we have left to do on her face is to come back with our white and to drop off maybe a couple of dots. You can even do a little bit of a line below. Maybe even another dot, a smaller one. And there you go. You got a very shimmery-eyed Frida Kahlo. On the sides of the hair with that brush, you can also outline her hair a little bit. And if you at any point want to come in and add some highlights on anything, you can come in and add some highlights to these leaves. You can also do the highlight using some yellow and some green. It doesn't necessarily have to be white. So if you at any point want to do that, you can. There's just a little extra you can add. It doesn't necessarily have to have that. And the final thing we have left to do with that detail brush is to pick up a little bit of white and on the bottom right hand side, put in your fancy signature. After this, you're done. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to check out our videos on our website at www.unwindanddesign.org.